So in other words, they block you from building and then they subsidize you.
The member says he couldn't make this stuff up. He underestimates himself. You know, Mr. Speaker, I'm glad that he brought up our record, because in the first 2 years after we took office, we did what his grandfather would have done. We paid off $40 billion of debt to prepare for the crisis that we knew would one day come. And as a result, we had a buffer. We were prepared, and we had the strongest economy in the G7 through the Great Globalization.
So in other words, they block you from building and then they subsidize you to build.
Well, Pierre has been sent off to the Indu Committee, and here he's doing some outstanding work, letting the obvious. Check it out.
So back in the 70s, it took 3 days, and now it takes 3 years.
That would be it. Maybe 4 days in the 70s to 3 years now.
Okay. And so in other words, the regulators did their job back in the 70s in 4 days to allow for the safe construction of a big, beautiful building that created hundreds of jobs over the decades. They did that in 4 days. Now it takes 3 years to do the very same thing. You spent $600,000 on government to build this new facility. Tim, the consultants say, don't worry about all this paperwork. We'll do it for you. You pay us a fee, and then we'll go and get you a grant from a bunch of government departments to compensate you for all of the costs government has imposed on you. So in other words, they block you from building and then they subsidize you to build. Which, if you had two options, option one is the government gets out of your way, gives you a simple, clear, and safe approval, and lets you build with your own money. Or option B, they delay you for 4 or 5 years and charge you $600,000, but then offer you a taxpayer-funded grant to compensate you for those costs. Which of those two options as an entrepreneur would you prefer? Let's get down to business. We obviously have a bunch of liberals here who have something to hide, or else they wouldn't be trying to shut down the debate. To Mr. Rodriguez, it seems strangely liberals don't want to hear from him after insisting that he be here. So what I would suggest is that we simply go to Mr. Rodriguez, let him have his opening statement, and we begin. And if there are any motions that need to be withdrawn quickly so that they can be reintroduced later on, and so as not to keep our witness waiting any longer, then we do that. But let's get down to business. We obviously have a bunch of liberals here who have something to hide, or else they wouldn't be trying to shut down the debate.
Point of order, Chair. Mr. Burke is at the floor.
Colleagues, order.
Colleagues,
point of order. This is too much.
Order.
You were here. You asked a question.
Madam Clerk, can you mute all mics other than mine? Madam
Mute the
Clerk,
mics.
yes, thank you.
Mute the mics.
Colleagues, order.
Everyone's been really quiet about what's been going on with this budget. Like, all the opposition's been pretty quiet, and so we guess the bird of the week goes to Trudeau against O'Toole.
We've now delivered over 13.3 million doses to provinces and territories, with more than 10 million doses of vaccine already having been administered. Thanks to the tireless territories, and Canadians will notice, even if Conservatives don't want to talk about it, we put forward a budget that gives so much help to Canadians that Conservatives don't even have any questions on it.
Well, what will this week hold, do you think? Do you think that the Conservatives are going to take hold of this, the fact that we don't have enough vaccines to open up, like the UK, the United States, and New Zealand, Australia, and many other countries? Leave your comments down below, like, subscribe, and have a good Sunday. And here's my outro. Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, and comment. Safe Space.